G'day everyone, and welcome to game 3 of the mods. This one I'm using the Panzer III-J. In the last one it was actually the Panzer III-E. I got it mixed up with the J, kept calling it the J instead of the E. But as you can see, I'm starting this particular game from this end. I don't normally end up down this end. I've only been at this end once or twice before. I'm not really sure which way to go. Looking at the map, I decided instead of going across the train tracks and up that way, I'll go off to the far right of the game. But because the Panzer III moves so quickly, I decided to sort of take my time and not rush through past everybody and be the first one out. Whenever that happens, I normally end up getting taken out real quickly, so I decided I'm going to take it a little bit more cautiously and work out what I've got around here in the way of cover and that. So I'm just sort of taking my time, looking to see what I've got that I can use for cover. The teammates are going past. I'll get up here. I have a quick look around here with the camera. I'll go over to the right here a bit more, see if there's any cover I can sort of use. I've got some trees behind me here, but they're sort of back a bit, so I decide I'll take up cover behind this bush because I'm only in a Panzer III. I've only got a light gun. It's a light tank basically, and see if I can back up anybody. And of course T1 Heavy is sitting there. Take a shot at him. I'm not doing much damage to him at all. I'm just trying to back up my teammate there. My little gun is pretty ineffective against the sorry about that, against the T1 Heavy. Sort of here looking around whilst the heavies pulled back, looking around trying to see. My teammate Matilda is trying to take on the heavy, and I've spotted an M10 off to the right of my teammate, but I'm concentrating more on the T1 Heavy that I haven't actually noticed the M10 yet. It's actually off to the left out of sight at the moment. I'm trying to back up my teammate here, and my teammate's now taking fire from the M10. I'm hitting the T1 Heavy, doing a little bit of damage to it, not much, and I'm concentrating more on the heavy than I am on the M10. I don't really notice it until now when it comes up, so I start taking shots at it to try and eliminate it before it can take out my teammate. I'm not the only one shooting at it. There are others. Unfortunately, he's taken out the teammate. I'm also taking shots now from the M10 as well as the heavy, and of course with my light tank they've taken me out. So I just wonder whether if I got to those trees there over further, whether would have had a better shot, whether or not I could still hide behind the trees behind me there off to the left, which I'm not panning around enough to look at, whether they would actually add more cover for me. I mean, this isn't a bad position, but you're also quite exposed. Choose to go to this fella. He's taking on the heavy, along with some of the other players. It's hard to do damage to the heavies because they're so heavily armoured. Unfortunately, as you saw, I could only zoom in by 8 times. I couldn't really zoom in enough, which is really frustrating. Couldn't get a clear shot before. This player's still having a go at the heavy. He's doing some damage, so is some of the other players. You can see the heavy's taking a fair bit of damage now from one of the other green players. Yeah, he's trying to get in position. Heavy's taking out the other green player that was doing damage to him. This one's firing at the heavy, not doing any damage. The heavy's spotted him and fired back at him. He seems to he doesn't seem to know what he wants to do, this player. Kind of backing up. Got that bit of a alcove there in the rocks. By myself, I'm wondering whether or not you can actually get around there and have a shot between the rocks at the heavy with from cover. But you get there, it's just a footpath basically, a little path thing. You can't drive your tank up there, unfortunately, so you can't use that. This fella's stayed here. As you can see, he's to move his tank, he's got to really rev his engine. He's taking cover here. Don't know what for. He's just hiding here, basically, just waiting to find out what he's going to do in that. He comes forward. There's a red tank coming up. He's a heavy tank. It's a Type 95, I think. Japanese Type 95 heavy tank. Yeah, by the looks of things. He's waiting for him to show up and that. But he's basically stayed here too long. He's concentrating on this red tank in front of him. And now he's taking fire from behind, and he was taken out by a Lutz or something like that. With a 20mm cannon. So move to this player. Trying to get a bead on this red player. A couple more shots and that red player would be eliminated. Just can't get a clear shot at him. Coming up again, trying to get around to him. And he's taking fire. He's taking fire from a tank in front of him somewhere. He's pulled back. He's out of sight of that red tank, and there's the one that was firing at him. He's firing back at him, doing more damage to the red tank, and he's able to eliminate him. Now he's sort of standing backwards and forwards. Now he's decided to actually use the red tank as cover, and that other red tank is now showing up. Takes a shot at him. Like he missed the red tank. Oh no, he fired another shot at the red tank, did some damage, but the red tank took him out. This here is an M8, I think it is. Or an M5, not sure. Looking around, going from player to player. This guy's hiding behind this bush. Not planning to do too much by the looks of things. Our base is being captured. One of the other green players is racing back towards the camp. So I change back to the fella. He's been spotted. There's a red player up there. He's taking hits. He's actually got a red player off to his left that was shooting at him. He's trying to come around here to get to the red player. What he could have done was use those carriages to hide behind basically and take shots at the red player there. He's got another red player behind him coming up. He's trying to use the train as cover. and the red player took him out by firing straight through the train by the looks of things. Now this it's either M8 or M5. Now he gets here and literally just does nothing. The red player trying to capture the base is goading the green players to come back. He starts capturing it, then he steps off the base, stops the base capture, and this player, he's just stuffing around too much. It's going backwards and forwards in circles, doing nothing. Instead of taking on the red player, he could have even gone round those rocks and come in from behind, and he's just wasting his time. There's only 2 green players left, and this guy's just going round and round in circles, basically just wasting time. He should have gone down that way and around behind him and come in behind, and of course he gave the red players the time to come up and just take him out. Wasted himself basically, and this guy he's decided not to hide behind that bush anymore. He's just stuffing around too much. All the red players are actually up the other end at the base. What he should have done was friggin' looked at his map and noticed where all the red players were, and should have just made a beeline for the red base camp. He's the last player, and now the red player is capturing the base again, and this guy's just wasting time basically, just plodding around down this end of the field, not doing much at all. Just plodding along, and that he's left it way too late to even try and do a base capture. The red player is now staying on the base and capturing it, and even when he gets to here, he just stops basically and just friggin' stuffs around, wastes more time, and yeah, by the time the base is already, friendly base has been captured, it's taken too long to start capturing this, and it's a defeat.